Alright guys, so this right here is my little handbook. I'm going to try to cover the major traps people fall into when playing this game. I'm going to jump right into it. The first trap people fall into is not knowing who to upgrade, and they end up upgrading the wrong characters. And the game loves to throw characters like this at you. Power 13, tier A, 3 skills. This guy right here is nothing but fodder. What fodder means is a character that you use as sacrifice to upgrade a different character. So in my case, the only reason I built Goku up Super Saiyan 1 is so I can feed him into Super Saiyan 3. Now this Goku is actually not that good either. This is where I messed up. But I got some niche use out of him. I might touch on that later. But that's pretty much it. Knowing that these are the characters you want to build up, so and so, and then focusing on them primarily is going to save you a lot of hassle, going to save you a lot of resources, and you're less likely to rage quit and stop playing the game. But yeah, the identifier for these guys, the fodder, is they're going to be power 13. Power doesn't always matter. Before I get off this topic, if you look at Gohan, though, he's one of the best tanks in the game. But if you compare him to Jiren or compare him to Super Broly, both Jiren and Super Broly are terrible. They're the worst tanks in the game compared to Piccolo and compared to Gohan here. So, I'll leave in the description the link to our Discord page if you're not already on there. We've got tier lists, and we're all more than happy to tell you why these characters are good, so on and so on. And if you want a more detailed reason to why certain characters are better than the others, comment in the comments below, and then I can make a detailed video on that. Right then, so moving on to trap number 2. This is sadly a lot of people fall victim to this, which is this right here. Retire. I see so many people retire, even their 4 stars and their 5 stars and their 3 stars. You should not do that. You should not retire even the 3 stars. The reason for that is these guys, you can actually turn 4 stars into 5 stars, and you need about 4 of the 3 stars to make that happen. And these right here these 3 right here are really, really important, because you can turn fodder, Android 16, fodder Goku, Android 17 into useful fodder for your higher tier, your higher ranked characters that need those requirements, instead of then feeding them someone like Vegeta over here, or this Goku, for example, or in some cases I saw people feed someone like this guy, and it's like you should not be doing that. You can, there's no reason you shouldn't, but if you have options like this, I always suggest to people max these out. This is a really good option too, but this is more for people that aren't free to play, because to upgrade someone like Piccolo, you need that you need a fusion force fodder. So 9 times out of 10 normal players will not have that issue, because they won't be building fusion force. Now then, moving on to trap number 3. This right here is so major. Actually, no, you know what? Let me comment just briefly on this. So when you retire, you get this currency, right? The issue with this shop is it doesn't refresh on its own. You have to spend 5k to refresh the shop, right? So you gotta ask yourself, at what point are you gonna have this much? You're just not going to. And especially how important fodder is, how important having copies of characters is. It's not worth retiring at all. Right then, trap number 3, moving on. This right here, 2 things to take into consideration here is, 1 is if you're free to play, only get these 2 camps. Reason for that is they have excellent characters that majority, aside from the fodder, majority of them you can use in combinations, and it's just the bang for your buck. This right here, if you're free to play, only 2 banners you should be summoning for. Over here, it's really good too, but I mean, there's only 3 characters here that are worth your time: Hit, Kale, and Ribrianne. So personally, I would advise you to only go for these. Sadly, I see every single person going for Fusion Force. Now the issue with that is, if you're free to play, all you're doing is wasting those rare Dragon Balls that you do end up getting. This is primarily for VIP players. Once you have everybody here maxed and you're like, oh cool, okay, I have 2 teams, or I have 1 team that's fully ready, it's maxed out. I'm ready to invest into my first Fusion Force character, and it's like, oh, cool, then summon on this. Otherwise, free to play, focus on this. VIP, focus on this. Now moving into trap number 5, I think. Let's go with that. Let's go with trap number 5. I don't remember. Is this? I see people like do manage to summon 70 times, which I guess is less of a concern for free to play players, and more for VIP players. People ask me which ones should I buy. Don't buy any of them. Only buy these guys if you're like one copy away from rainbowing them. Gotenks you can get from a lot of different ways. Piccolo and Boo, the best way to get them, the most efficient way to get them, their copies, is roulette. You can get a lot of copies of theirs through roulette. I advise you to just do like one spin. Don't do 10s. And you just have a more chance of just landing one of these guys, and it's such a more efficient way of getting them. This currency, I personally believe, and I would suggest to most players, is only buy Gogeta from here. The reason is Gogeta is one of the best players in the one of the best characters in the game. He has heal ban and he has revive ban. Damage is absurd, and he is the rarest character to get. Like there's no other shops that you can buy Gogeta from. So personally speaking, invest only in Gogeta, and that's it really. Moving on to one final thing, and I personally believe it is a trap, because the game doesn't outright tell you how important this is, and a lot of people fall victim to this. So yeah, definitely it is a trap. But before we get to the trap itself, is how I would advise, I'll tell you how to get the most efficient way of getting the currency. One, every time you do your daily sign-ins, always do the max amount. It's quite expensive, I know, but that 800 actually does add up. Second, buy max amount over here underneath the rewards preview. Max that out. It costs 80 for that buff. 4 times, it'll give you 20% damage by the attempts. Max that out and then just go at it. You want to kill these bosses as fast as you can. The reason is the more bosses you kill, the more currency you'll get every time you kill a boss. And now going towards why this is important. A lot of people save up their army currency and end up buying these things, like these armor pieces. Not a good idea. Do not do that. You're wasting your currency, and 9 times out of 10 you're gonna rage quit. A lot of players that I've spoken to have actually rage quit because of this. One of the most common reasons people quit is because of this, because they don't realize how important this is. Now let me show you why this is all of this, why it's so important. Instead of spending your money on the shop, you're meant to spend that money in army skill. It speaks for itself, 19% HP, 90% attack, crit damage, 38% crit damage increase, man, that's crazy. You look at this isn't as important, but this right here, goddamn, man, let me tell you, it's such a difference maker. Like it just take my word for it. This right here is where you should be investing your army currency into. It's pretty expensive, but this is a trap that a lot of people fall into, and you do not want to fall into this trap because you're going to get left behind. And it's really hard to catch up, because once you spend the money on like gear, you can't get that back. So there you go. There you have it. These are the biggest traps that this game you can fall into. A lot of people, believe it or not, fall into those traps, and I think you would do good to avoid doing that. So like I said, I'll leave the link in the description to our Discord page. If there's more questions that you have, and you want more in detailed explanations to how to go about certain things, like for example, Prison Planet. I think right now I'm at, what am I at? Right now I'm at 51. Forgot to collect those. Okay, so and if you want more in-depth description, or like I guess a tutorial on how to do Universe Expedition, Snake Way, or Current Tower, there's just so many different things to cover, or even this, cross server, whatever you need help with, whatever you're unsure about, let me know. I'll be happy to make a new video on it and cover whatever it is you want me to cover in detail. But yeah, a lot of people are confused about why these characters are better than, why certain characters are better than others. So for example, Broly ranks in B tier in the tier ranking, and a lot of people are confused about that. But like I said, if you want more details on why certain characters, you know, rank where they do, let me know and I'll make another video. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope this helps. Catch you next time. Peace.